Great. Okay, so we're here at the first Song Club, and there's an event happening tonight, and this is the first video that I thought we'd do, where we interview, talk about songs, have a little conversation, and see where we can go in terms of depth of songwriting and a few tips maybe that'll help you out a little bit. So it is my privilege to welcome Matt Hutchison, who, also known as ortoPilot, is a singer-songwriter from Manchester, currently incredibly successful on the YouTube platform. So really, really good to talk to him today, and it's a completely different perspective for some of you, because you'll be thinking record companies, you'll be thinking album releases, and the whole YouTube thing has turned all of that normal cycle on its head a little bit. How does your creative process work in terms of, a lot of people are going to work to writing an album, recording an album, touring an album, but that order isn't there for you really, is it? It's a whole different thing.
I try to keep it to a bit of a structure, but because it's not a conventional way of doing things nowadays, if you can release a track, you can record a track instantly, you can release a track instantly, you can start selling it instantly, you can all you need is exposure nowadays, and that's where the record labels come in to put money behind it, to plough it into advertising and everything like that. So nowadays, because we've got YouTube, because we've got all the social media platforms, it's easy for us to expose ourselves.
Okay, don't do that.
So, for want of a better phrase, we can advertise ourselves. We can put ourselves out there without the need of these major labels now.
So, I mean, you've made a career from digital promotion of your own music, but does that make the traditional process redundant then, if it can be done without?
No, I wouldn't say so, because there's the small sort of 1-2% who, like, for example, Ed Sheeran, James Bay, they kind of need that. Well, I suppose everybody needs the support from a major label. That's everybody's kind of dream, but it's the small percentage that rise to the top that make the money, in order for the label to keep supporting them and to keep that going. The other 99% we don't hear about, because they get signed up by a label and get dropped instantly when they're not doing what the label sort of expects them to do.
Yeah.
So fortunately, I've never had a bad experience with a label, because I've never actually signed up to one, because my independent direction has always been in fairly the right direction. It's not all down to me, it's down to people around me sort of influencing me and helping me out and supporting me, and it's a big thing really. Having entourage, that's a good okay. Kind of word. It's a bit Americanized now, but an entourage is a good way to go. Getting a good team of people around you that really want the same thing as you do.
Right.
That's what I would say.
Okay, brilliant. So it's not a one-man show, really.
It is kind of mostly, but over the past couple of years, I'm kind of learning to delegate the sort of admin side of things, the managerial side of things, where I've been trying to do everything myself. It just doesn't work, because my songwriting suffered, my production work suffered, because I was trying to do everything, like accounting, sort of, you name it, I was doing it. And you just can't do that. It's possible to a certain point, but if you want to get to the next level, you need people.
Which is, and I can hear, anybody connected with a record company listening to that and having a little smile, because they know the amount of people that are involved in putting an act together. Mm-hmm. And all of the team in the company, and all the team, the agents and the touring and everything. It's a huge team of people behind an artist. So we've moved in an industry into this way that everybody's been given a power of recording and writing and releasing themselves, but at the same time the model of having a professional team behind you still works on a different level. So we're in this really weird situation of anything is absolutely possible, and it can be done in a variety of different ways.
Yeah.
So in terms of the way you do things, how does it affect your creative process? You've touched on the fact that because there are so many elements to the job you have to do, that can stifle sometimes the amount of time or creativity you have, and you've worked on that to release it. How does it, do you find it easy to be creative when you're constantly motivating yourself? You're having to motivate yourself?
It's not easy. It's never easy to sort of... a really important thing with songwriting in the past for me has been doing it, letting it come out rather than forcing it to come out. And I mean, since meeting you a few months ago, you kind of showed me a different way of songwriting, and that has kind of triggered a lot of new perspectives on songwriting. But before that, I was just a case of sitting down, and if something came out, it came out, and I just let it do its thing. And if it didn't, I didn't force it. And sometimes you kind of got to sit down and force yourself to do things, and not having the time to dedicate forcing yourself to sit down is very difficult. But
tricky,
now that things are kind of easing up a little bit, delegation and everything, allocating specific time slots every week to doing things that I need to do.
This is songwriting. I mean, this is it really, because I've spent years doing exactly what you just said, where as soon as you force it, it becomes derivative. It becomes a copy of something else you happen to have heard in your subconscious.
Yeah.
So I allow it to just come when it comes, and don't try and force it. But then you get to a stage where the whole mechanical part, the mechanical process of the brain, you have to actually start firing it up. And work and learn how to actually mechanically fire yourself up.
Yeah.
Because this inspirational side sometimes will let you down and doesn't come, and you've got to actually switch it on and find ways to switch it on, which is why, like you said, I've researched this method thing that I've worked on, but which I think is helping quite a few people to at least fire it up. Might not provide the best song they've ever written, but it provides a process that will switch on.
Undoubtedly so.
And so how do you, the other thing I wanted to ask you, which in terms of your career is really interesting, because you've spent a lot of time recording other people's songs.
Yes.
Does that take away from the creativity of your own material? Is there a tension between recording other people's work and then forcing yourself to actually write your own work?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, you kind of touched upon it a minute ago when you were saying if you force something, you kind of sometimes you're sort of earworms that are in your mind, that like other people's songs are kind of in there, and sometimes they influence your writing. And a lot of the time, because I've covered hundreds of songs, I know probably twice more than that. Every time I start thinking of a melody, it's like, do I recognise that from something? And it's like, oh, do I do that? But that's why I just want it to just flow out of me, because it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, and it is tough. It is tough. But another thing about covers as well is that if I go to a gig, half of the people want to hear my originals, half of the people want to hear my covers.
Yeah.
So I've got to balance the two out. If I'm either going to write a new song or learn a new song, the chances are that the cover song is going to get more exposure, it's going to get more momentum behind it over an original song. So it's tough. Like, do I spend all this time writing an original song that only a few people are going to hear, or do this cover that a lot of people are going to hear? And it's only the past, say, well, I don't want to blow your trumpet or anything, but since I met you, you flicked a switch and kind of made me think original songwriting is kind of where I want to focus my time on over the next year or so, because you can write a song in 5 minutes and it affect a lot, like touch people, like reach people, and just you could write a song over the course of 2 weeks and it not do anything, but you can write a song in 5 minutes and it completely blow people's minds. Yeah. So like I say, you flicked a little switch of inspiration, and I think next year I will be
That's the road.
dedicated to original stuff. I'll still be doing a few covers here and there.
Well, let's write one together. Let's do a few together. Let's do that. What's the one thing? Yeah, it's film now. Okay. What a great one to start with. This is brilliant. The first episode. Let's finish with one thing that you would recommend to songwriters starting out. They're putting videos out. They're trying to get it on Spotify. They're trying to get it streamed.
Mm-hmm.
What's the one thing that you've learned that would be your treasured lesson from the process?
I think the best lesson that was taught to me, apart from your inspirational songwriting
Stop it.
level, that's enough praise for you. The one thing is, in order to create good music and be inspired by good music, you've got to listen to good music.
Right.
And if you don't listen to anything, your brain can be inspired by visual things, but if you like words, topics, chord sequences, rhythms of guitars, pianos, drums and everything like that, you can be inspired by other people's music, and if you listen to great music, the chances are you're going to write great music.
Yeah.
And I heard that about a year or two ago, and just got straight onto my Spotify list and just made a massive playlist of songs that I love, and I just keep listening to them and just drilling them into my head.
Brilliant.
That's about it, really.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot, Matt, ortoPilot, for joining us.
Pleasure.
On the first
man.
one. Join us next time on Song Club, and we'll be talking to another songwriter for more hints and tips. Cheers.